Hello, welcome to Mountain Craft Studio. My name's Christine. Come on in and I'll show you what I've been working on. Well, I don't know about you, but I have been quite busy since the last time I recorded a video. I have some fully finished projects to show you, some finished projects, some whips. I have some plans, some quilts, all kinds of fun things. So let's get to it. The first thing I have to show, if you've been a follower of me for any length of time, you know I have a little black cat named Agnes that showed up a year ago. Yes, right at a year ago. And she has taken over. So when I saw Stacy Nash's Animal Cracker series project, I knew I had to make one. I ended up making it a little less Halloween looking because I thought I do have two other cats, Ethel and Maud, and even though they don't get as much attention, they were here first. So I may end up trying to do another Ethel and Maud by just changing the colors. I think it'd be kind of cute. Then I could just have them for whatever. I stuffed the little ornament with wool and some walnut shavings. The back is a wool blend. I have a whole stack of men's suiting samples that needs to become a quilt someday. And otherwise I just used some vintage looking silk ribbon and an old primitive looking button. Very cute. This took no time at all and was really cute. You do want to make sure to read the directions. So I ended up having to stitch the nose over again because I didn't notice it was supposed to be with 2 strands of floss instead of 1. But you know, sometimes I'm a slow learner. The other really big thing that I've been excited to share is my sewing workbox. So I'm going to show some photographs and I'll insert some close-up photographs so that you can see it a little more. The outside of the box and the inside as well, I finished in my milk paint style that I've been using for 30 years, like long before milk paint became a thing. And we've made a lot of furniture and distressed it and made them look like antiques over the years. And I basically use the exact same process. If you think that might be something you would be interested in seeing, I could go ahead and put a video together. Just let me know. I'm not going to do it if you know, there's not a lot of interest, but this project was actually quite simple. The box is one of those that comes from Hobby Lobby that has the dividers on the inside. It has a piece of glass up here. I know you've seen it used in other things. I think there's Blackbird Designs has one maybe that has, is it Blackbird? Maybe it's somebody else. It has a Halloween theme where they actually have cushions that you make for the inside. But I needed something to set on the coffee table in front of me when I sit and stitch in the living room. Something that was Agnes proof, that could be locked so that she can't open it, and still be able to hold my stitching pretties. I do plan to make some things for in here. I want to do like a little needle book and things like that. But I want this to be what I use every day, and it will hopefully, you know, bring me great joy and last me years and years. My original plan was to put velvet on the bottom of the of each little box, but once I got it finished, I kind of liked the way it looked. It looks very very primitive, and because I am going to make those little things to stick in there, I didn't want to put something in there that might clash. So for now, this is where what it's going to do. Once I get my little accoutrement made, and I'll go from there to decide if I need to put anything else in there, because certainly the rattling might be a problem with Agnes. So everything gets knocked onto the floor. So I would rather she not knock this on the floor. But anyway, I'll insert some more close-up photos so you can get a better idea of what the antiquing looks like on the side of the box. Fun project. And I didn't even say that's a finish from a Brenda Gervais. I think the name of the stitch is called Quaker Handwork. The other thing I've been working diligently on is the sampler drum from Hobby House. Love this. It's beautiful colors. I did finish stitching. That's the top. I put my initials and the year on instead of what the pattern called for. And I did finish the stitching. Just needs to be put together. The mood has not struck me yet. Struck? Yes. Drums, I can do them, but I have to be not in a hurry. I have to be feeling very zen. And that doesn't always happen. It comes a little bit harder. Here lately, especially. Things will be calming down soon, and we'll all be stuck inside, and we won't have anything better to do, so I'll finish it then. The other thing, so it's Sampler September. Of course, I'm working on samplers. My plan was to go ahead and get a big amount of Harriet McEwen stitched. Only I studied this as I finished this little part, and I decided while I was inside and in the light inside the house that I hated it. So it's my favorite. I think it's sheep straw. It's my favorite linen and linen color. I love it. But with these threads, it's just not working for me. So I'm using the DMC. I had decided that I'm starting over. Because I love this sampler so much that it's got to be perfect. And I decided that I needed something with more beige. And so I'm just going to use Vintage Country Mocha. And I looked with these colors. I think this is exactly what it needs to be in the lighting in my house. Out here, this looks fine. And that's my problem, is it looked, when I did my floss toss and everything else, it looked perfect out here. Well, I have probably 20 lights in this room. So I don't have 20 lights on it in my living room. And it makes a huge, huge difference. I'm surprised at how much. So now I've realized if I plan to have anything hanging or in that area that I'm stitching on, I'm gonna have to take it in there and verify that the lighting is good. So the wonder and joy of old houses, dark places everywhere. So as that was happening and I decided I was going to have to make that switch, I saw a squirrel and was more than happy to go down that squirrel chase because instead of restarting. And I saw several people that were doing a Jane Parsons stitch along. I love this sampler. I loved it the minute she released it. It's gorgeous. It's just absolutely beautiful. And it was on my list of things, I wanted to do, but I hadn't purchased it yet and I hadn't kitted it up. But when they said that they were going to start that, I thought, that's exactly what I want to work on, and I know exactly what I'm going to do. I have a collection of Renaissance dyeing wool floss. Renaissance dyeing, they're no longer dyeing, but they did all natural dyes for their products, and they're gorgeous. The colors are just fantastic, and it's super soft. You can see I'm just sitting here petting it. But it's wonderful wool to work with. And I thought, originally I thought I would order the wool for Jane Parsons that she has listed in the pattern. And I thought, well, that's silly. You have a bunch of wool out there. So I went through and I just picked out some wools that I thought would look good compared to the DMCs that she had listed. And this is what I've come up with. I love it. I love stitching this. I started in the middle so I could start immediately on the bird because I love the bird. But I really, really, really am enjoying working with this. These wools are just fabulous. Love them. So I will continue stitching on this for the rest of the month. And I'm still enjoying it, so I may just keep on going. I'm not sure if I'll put it down or not. It's kind of addictive. I think it's the fall. When fall rolls around, I get in the mood to spin wool and do wool applique and I knit more, and that's a weave more and that sort of thing. And more, I don't know, it's got to have something to do with the weather changing that just makes me more drawn to those projects. And this definitely fills that need, to that tactile sensation of experiencing something woolly. And for the most part, I've been just working on those things. They've kept me busy. I've done so many other things this month. It's not even funny, but been doing some things with my grandkids and that sort of stuff. So I have stayed busy. One of the other things that I've noticed on Instagram that people are doing, I think it's Lauren, the New Hampshire Stitcher, is doing her BAP stitch along, big ass project. And so I have one that I have been holding and wanting to do, but I think what I'm going to do is wait, because I'm not going back to school. And it's just a terribly busy time of year. The fall is for me. So I think what I'm going to do is hold off, and I'm going to start my big project the first of the year. And I love this so much that I absolutely want to finish it. When I saw Christy of Crosshatch Quilts show her Mary Bars sampler by Stacy Natch, my mouth hit the floor because I was able to see, she showed pictures of it really up close. And I just went gaga over it. These are my colors, so much my colors. It's not even funny. And so I bought the kit from Country Sampler because you can get all of the flosses at once. There's like 6 or 8 skeins of Schneckly. No, 7 skeins of Schneckly. That's a lot. So I'm going to cut up the project into 12 chunks, and I'm going to force myself to do a chunk every month next year. And then by the end of the year, I'll have it done, because I really, really, really want this one. And what I thought I would do, since I'm going to all that trouble, I thought I would have my own stitch along. And because this last month, I managed to somehow get 5,000 subscribers. It blows my mind that there's 5,000 people out there that will listen to me ramble. But anyway, I have another pattern, and I'm going to give it away. If you are interested in stitching the Sal with me, let me know. But if you are wanting to have a chance to win this pattern, let's see, put in, just put in B-A-R-R-E-S, bars. That's her last name. Could be berries. It's hard to say. Anyway, put that in your comment and I will search for that right before I film the next video. And then I'll draw a winner and you'll get it in plenty of time to go ahead and kit it up, since I'm not going to start this till January 1st. This is my January 1st start. I know that everybody has so much going on between now and the first of the year, including me, that I did not even want to think about it before then. But I'm definitely looking forward to this one, especially if you haven't seen this sampler really up close. Please go watch Christy's. I think it might have been, it's within either just her last video or the one before that. I can't remember, but you can see it up close. It is so gorgeous. So gorgeous. So I'm looking forward to that. Other than that, I do have several projects once I have Jane Parsons finished to work on. I have a couple of black cat things that I might work on. I don't know. Depends on how long Jane takes me to get finished. I'm actually going to the Jacob Palooza, so weekend A, and I'm so excited. So, and I am getting the sampler from that retreat, and so I may be working on that sampler as well. I have some fall smalls too that are calling my name, so those might work their way into the rotation. It just depends. I think it's September, so I stuck with my plan pretty well, you know, up until now. And now I'm kind of like, throw the plan out the window and just do what you feel like. So, which is, I should have known. That's the way I operate usually. I think sometimes I've always forced myself to finish things or force myself to work on things. And then I've noticed that I'm slower at getting them finished because I'm not really feeling it at the moment. And so I think I need to be a little more work on what I'm feeling at the moment, and I might actually be more productive, even though I don't work on something for a long period of time. Maybe more energetic burst. Maybe I'm a sprinter instead of I don't know. Anyway, I'm also, speaking of going out of town, I'm going to go to a retreat in Shipshewana with some dear friends that I haven't seen in years. We have there's a hand quilting retreat, just a small group of people, and I'm very excited about going to that. And so I pulled out some of my projects, my hand quilting projects. I thought, what am I going to do? I had bought a top, an antique top, that all of these blocks were stitched together, and these, even though these are a completely different size than these, and it was a hot mess to say the least. So I took them apart and I restitched them according to size and made just a small table topper, and this is going to be a table runner. I love them, I think, and I'm stitching them with a clamshell design. I love hand quilting. I think it's gorgeous. And if I, lived 6 more lifetimes, I could do all the hand quilting in the world. But that motion of rocking back and forth really has created problems with my wrist. So unless I want to go have surgery, I have to limit the amount of hand quilting I do, which breaks my heart. But I can do small projects. So that's what I pretty much reserve my hand quilting for anything smaller than a crib quilt. the days of hand quilting large quilts is over for me, I think, unless some miracle happens. Speaking of large quilts, let me go grab the quilts that I have finished. I'll insert some photographs too, because I know that it's pretty much impossible to for you to get an idea of what these look like by me holding them up, but we'll see what happens. I showed this one. Maybe, was I working? Yeah, I showed this one in the last video, and I think I was just putting the blocks together at the time. I love it. I'm calling it, I don't know what I'm calling it. Oh, Blue Collar Beauty. I knew I'd think of it eventually. This was a quilt kit from Country Sampler. The pattern name, I think, was Rochelle. I would not recommend the pattern. I really was. I don't know what happened. It was almost like they gave us the pattern that wasn't proofread yet, like the first draft or something, but it was really terrible. So I wouldn't even recommend that unless you know that it's been corrected, because there was just pretty much everything wrong with it. It was not good. But I was able to make an absolutely stunning quilt with it. So it's not all bad. I love this. This is one of my favorite classic quilt, you know, blue and cream or off-white. It's, you know, it doesn't get any more classic than that. And then this one is called Lincoln's Watch. This is a much bigger one. This was another kit, but it was from a quilt shop in Indianapolis called Quilts Plus that's no longer in business. I've had this kit for far too long to just now be finishing it. I'd stitched it earlier in the year, but then just finished long arming it this week. Love it. This pattern, actually, it's one of those, it looks complicated, but they actually, it's Lincoln's Watch by Red Crinoline Quilts. Yes. If you go by the pattern, you actually get the templates that go with it, and it makes it super, super easy. It doesn't look easy, but it is. On the back, I have some Blackbird fabric that I've had around for ages. I thought it was perfect for it. I have to say, this is definitely one of my favorites, and I'm glad to finally have another fall quilt. I have a quilt rack, and I try to change it out seasonally, and I had taken all my fall quilts to the cabin, and that's kind of how the cabin is decorated year-round in those colors, and so I needed a little bit of fall, but I love it. Love it. I forgot to show, the other quilt has just a homespun on the back. There's an outlet store just south of Shipshawana that has really good deals on fabrics and stuff sometimes, and I was able to find it there when I was stitching on this, and so thought it was perfect. But that's pretty much what I've been doing. My friends had some quilts that I long armed for them. So I've done probably 10 quilts recently, in the last month or so, on the long arm, just to get caught up and let them have their quilts back. And trying to think, I think that's pretty much it. I have lots of other things that I will be showing next time. I also wanted to ask if anybody is interested, so I went to the Always in Stitches in Noblesville, is a quilt shop, and cross stitch store, and they have a group stitch every month. And so I went this last month and had a grand time. I actually met Jamie Cruz, who has a brand new or fairly new YouTube channel, and we had an absolute blast. If you have not checked out her YouTube channel, I would recommend you do so. I'll put her channel name below as I film this, and then I'll put it in my description box as well. Super sweet gal. She definitely a lot of fun. We had a lot of laughter. So anyway, she's also a quilter, and I know that there's a lot of stitchers out there who are also quilters, and I know that there are some quilters who like the Civil War fabrics like I do. And if you do, and you have any interest in doing one of the block swaps, let me know. I'm typically not a swapper. I used to sell, this is going way back, but I used to sell Close to My Heart and Stampin' Up! A million years ago, probably 25 years ago. And there was once where I did a bunch of stuff, and it was swapping within other demonstrators. And I worked really hard, spent tons of time, and this is when my kids were little and everything else, and made sure everything was perfect, and I swapped them, and you would not, like, the stuff I got back looked like stuff my kids made. And so I said, never again. And so I've been burned, right? And shy about doing that. But I think after 25 years, I might let that go. But this is Red Crinoline Quilt's book called Quilt Club. It was recently in the clearance department at Always in Stitches. And there's a lot of fun designs in here that could be swapped. And I was particularly looking at the Friendship Star one. I think that would be fun to swap. So if there's somebody that wants to do that with me, if you think that might be fun, we can maybe do that next year in addition to the stitch along. So just a thought. In the meantime, have fun, happy stitching. Thanks for watching.